life. Hi there, I'm Stephie Theodora. This is our first ever podcast. I'm an animation writer and voiceover artist living in Los Angeles. This podcast is dedicated to the people behind the cartoons that you love and the careers that they endure. Today I will be sitting down with Alan Denton. He is the story editor of Cartoon Network's Sonic Boom. He is the creator of Grandma vs. the Internet, which just had its second episode debut last week. And he is also a writer on Nick Jr.'s SunnyDay. This is our interview, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey, Stephie. How you doing?
Hey there, Alan. Thanks for joining me on my new podcast.
Yeah, that some hypnotist shyster told you to start? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great, sure.
Well, he
Why not?
basically walked me through all of the problems that I'm having and kind of nailed it down to confidence. Okay? And so, because I complained that I wasn't happy and we're trying to figure out why I'm not happy. And so he thinks it's because I'm not realizing the things that I want to do. So he hypnotized me to see a person in a year who was happy. And that person was, I think, doing a podcast. Okay. I don't know. I couldn't quite see from where I was standing, but
yeah, you might have just been wearing headphones. You might have been going for a jog.
It could have been that's right. I'm totally misunderstood. Well, we'll see what happens with this whole thing. So I wrote out a list of 10 commandments. Well, actually, they're not 10.
Okay.
But because I know
somebody's done that already.
Right. That job's been taken. But I know that there's some things with the industry that can we say this? So what can we do?
Yeah.
So thou shall not break any NDAs on this podcast. Okay,
right.
Alan? I know we're tempted to destroy our careers and get sued by the big companies that we work for, but none of that's going to happen here. Thou shall not bad talk executive producers. Pretty key note here, Alan. Just keep it clean.
Right.
Thou shall swear if thou feels like it.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, because we'll have an explicit thing. This is about cartoons, but it's not necessarily for children. It's about people who are interested in the industry. So let's feel free to say whatever we want. On that note, too, I would like to establish a safe word with you. So if we get into it too much and we start talking about things,
where do you think this is going to go?
You never know.
Okay. All right.
You're jammering on, and then we start to get into specific projects that aren't announced yet, or maybe there's names being dropped or whatever. Instead of being Stephie, I'm very uncomfortable right now to continue.
It's instead of interacting the way healthy people interact, we're going to blurt out a random word.
We'll say a word, and then that'll either indicate that we'll need to edit this later, and then I can search through the word, or we could just move on.
Okay, what's the word?
Well, you gotta establish it. You're the first guest.
Oh.
I think you're laying down the legacy of anything.
So I established a word. Cricket.
Cricket. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Okay. And then just for the record, none of the opinions expressed here are representative of Disney or Hasbro or who are you working
Sega,
for? Sega.
Sega, Cartoon Network, Nick Jr., none of that.
Right. We don't represent those people at all. We just work for them. Act 1. Alan moves to Los Angeles. Okay, so I want to go back because a lot of people always ask the question how did you get into cartoons?
Yeah.
And how did that happen? So you came down here with your girlfriend in 2007.
Yes.
And was the dream always to get into cartoons?
No. I came out to get into television in general. I think I had 2 spec scripts. I had a My Name is Earl and a Scrubs. So I was thinking network comedy, sitcom. Always comedy.
Okay.
But animation wasn't specifically. I mean, I was looking for work. I was looking for a job.
Yeah.
But my dreams and goals were probably live action TV. So how did I end up in animation?
But wait, and your girlfriend, was she also in that field too?
No.
Okay. She's now your wife, so that's cool.
So that's cool.
Well, that's a nice story, right?
Yeah. So she was an anthropology major, no interest in film or television, and with an anthropology degree, you're going to be unemployed. So she was like, I could be unemployed
Oh,
in New
wow.
York.
I thought you were going to say she was going to have a real job.
No.
Okay, so.
She was like, I could be unemployed in New York or
Double
unemployed.
dreamers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we moved out, and I was like working outside the industry. I was a temp, and I was working in sales and everything for about 2 years. Writing scripts, still not
In LA?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just writing spec scripts and pilot scripts and making short films and trying to get anyone to notice me. Nobody was noticing me.
Nobody was noticing you. And you were still going after 2 years.
Yeah, well, 2 years isn't that long. I couldn't even get into Channel 101. I kept getting rejected.
Oh,
from
I've
channel.
been rejected.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry.
Okay.
We're rejects too. And you know what? Because it's an inside thing. You got to know people now.
Well, yeah, that was
it's
the
not
thing.
even like this panel they're on about. It's garbage.
Yeah. Well, I would watch something. Yeah, I would submit something. It wouldn't get in because it wasn't that good. But I would also take certain umbrage when I would then go to the screening and there'd be like Dan Harmon and his friends doing some male nudity whatever shot that afternoon. Oh man. But anyway.
So you came here. You got a real job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Which maybe I should have thought about doing. Well, you said there's no shame in a side hustle.
No. Everyone needs a gig. So I got a real job. The problem was I was too good at the real job.
Oh no!
So
they were like giving you raises and
yeah, they promoted me to. I was working in sales, and then my boss left, and then they gave me my boss's job. I was head of sales at this.
What were you selling?
It was a TV production company, so they were international sales of like top 10 movie countdown show, video game review show, and everything.
Oh.
And so, but I wasn't creatively involved in those shows. I was head of the sales office.
So what would you do? Make phone calls all day?
Yeah, drafting contracts. Chasing up people for invoices and selling shows.
Isn't that awful work?
Oh, I'm not
Isn't
even...
it soul killing?
Yeah, it's not what I wanted to do, and honestly, I'm not the personality type to do that. The problem was that I was just kind of doing okay at that job.
And what, you got this on Craigslist or something?
Yeah.
You just walked in and...
Yeah, it was like
interview.
A Craigslist. Well, like I worked there for 6 months, and then my boss quit, and then I took my boss's job.
Act 2, Alan gets his big break.
So I was there 2 years, and then I got a call from my friend Bill Freiberger, who I'd met a few times, and he was working on a show on MTV called Warren the Ape. And they needed, they had space for an intern. And so he thought of me.
And how old are you now, like, at this time?
I guess 24.
Okay.
They needed an intern, and he called me, unpaid.
The nerve. How much do these guys make? How much do these guys make off of the dreams of all the minions and all the kids?
To get the call. But the most awkward thing was, so then I've got this job. I'm head of the department at this company.
Did you have to wear a tie to work?
No tie.
Okay.
But I went over. So then I went and I had to tell them, like, okay, I didn't tell them I was leaving to take an unpaid job, but I was like, hey, something opened up in a writer's room. I have to take it.
Oh,
and
that sounds nice. That's a nice way to put it.
And then they went like, hang on, just give us a day to make you a counteroffer.
Oh.
And I was like, no, it's not like that. They're like, just don't make a decision. We'll talk to you tomorrow. And I come back the next day, and they said, okay, how about this? $900 a week and unlimited vacation.
Wow.
And I go, ugh. And the whole time, he thinks I'm leaving to some great job making tons of money that he just has to figure out how much that is and match it. And I'm leaving to be the unpaid intern.
Oh, my goodness.
In, like, an apartment, on Melrose.
Wow.
And so I left.
Did you have a lot of savings?
I mean, I thought I had tons of money because I was making $750 a week. Which, again, was mind-blowing money to somebody right out of college, 8 years ago.
Oh, yeah, right. That's right.
But sure, I had I don't know. I came to LA with some savings, so I probably had like $15,000 in the bank.
That's pretty good.
It goes.
I know it goes in this city because that's always something people are worried about when they go to follow their dreams is the money. And that was one thing I wasn't worried about, and I'm eating dust for it right now. So
But that leaving a job where they were offering me I could have walked away easily with $1,000 a week or maybe more.
Oh, yeah.
But leaving was the best decision. I can draw
Right.
a straight line from that decision to me getting staff writer
That
on,
was
on
your
a
big
television
That
show.
was your big break.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, it's...
A free, unpaid
Well,
internship.
I mean, it's not only mentally of just going, no, I'm all in.
Right.
I moved here to do this. I'm all in.
Right.
But it was also just, I was in a writer's room, and I met professional writers.
Right.
And they knew I wasn't getting paid, so they felt like they owed me one.
Oh.
You know? And so, I work on the show. I do a good job, you know, and everything.
And what were you doing on the show?
I mean, I was the writer's intern. I was doing roles kind of like a writer's assistant would be doing.
Okay.
They had a writer's assistant, so I was like second.
So you're bringing the food in.
Yes, I was bringing in the food. I was also, but when they were breaking stories, I'm on a laptop just writing down,
writing it
speed
down.
typing everything said in the room.
Okay.
So the
Yeah.
the main writer's assistant has the script open.
Right.
He's writing the things that they think are going in the scripts. I'm writing everything.
Wow.
And so
Because, to be honest, if you were to ask me in a writer's room who the assistant was, I don't remember any of those guys at all.
well,
They
yeah.
really were like paint on the wall to me. But I mean, that's because you're always worried about what you're saying in a writer's
it
room.
was-
I'm never worried about the person
It was a good room
there or bringing in the food. I mean, I
Yeah.
say thank you.
Yeah, it was a good room there because it was very informal, and I did have opportunity to chime in with ideas and everything.
Oh,
and,
really?
And yeah, and things got on the show.
Oh, wow.
And I was also on set the entire time they
Oh,
were
that's
filming.
cool because it was live action.
So my job on set, I just had printouts of every episode's script and also the laptop with every note I took. And so when the scene wasn't working, they'd go, "What were some of the alternate jokes?" And I would have all that. I was just
wow.
like I just had to have every piece of information.
Now, up until that point, you were pushing on all cylinders to get into the industry, and then it just turned out your friend made one phone call. Is that right?
Well, yeah, I guess.
So do you feel like that other time and energy was kind of wasted? So if like do you look back on those 2 years that you were working with, at that place, and then you're trying?
Well, I mean, you got to make money, but also, I mean, I became friends with Bill in that 2 year span.
Right.
That's
Oh,
what it
okay,
is. It's
okay.
making connections and going
Yeah.
to networking things and meeting people and
Yeah.
stuff. And I don't know.
You never got tired of that.
No, I looked forward to
It
that.
never. Oh, really? It never felt like what's the freaking point anymore. Never got to that.
No, I felt like that at my job.
Yeah?
What's the freaking point?
Oh, okay.
Like
And
going
then
up-
what about when you meet other people who are real like swarmy little bastards and they've
well-
got good jobs, and they don't deserve it at all. Like, how did you really? I can't believe 2 years. I wouldn't have the energy for it. I kind of walked into this nice
Yeah.
job that I have. And but if I think about going and struggling from the bottom, I don't think I would do it.
I couldn't do it now.
Yeah,
in my-
is that the age that we're at? You think? Do you think because you were young and you didn't know any better, and
Yeah.
you didn't know it was going to take so long? Like, did you expect that you'd get here and things would take off much faster?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I said like I know it's going to be a lot of work. I know it's not going to be easy, but I was kind of hoping it would be easy.
Yeah, because you're talented
And
and you have a good degree and you make stuff. There's so many people who just don't even make anything.
Sure.
Right? There's a lot of people sitting in front of the computer right now on a script that they've been working on for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that they're doing, right?
Yeah.
And you were pumping out projects and making stuff.
I just knew I spoke the language of television. I was like, I know if given a shot, I can do this. What I didn't realize was there's a million people who can do this. Like, I had this chip on my shoulder, like, why won't anyone give me a chance? I know I can do this. And now that I'm doing it, I meet other people that haven't broken in that can do it, I'm sure, just as well as me. Mm-hmm. And my advice always is like, stick around.
Keep pushing.
Yeah, eventually somebody will give you a shot. But it's really like there's so many more people that can do this than there are jobs.
Right.
And that was humbling. And it took me until I had a job to realize that.
Okay.
Because then you see all these other people fighting to get in. You go, I'm no more talented than that guy or that
Right.
girl. You just kind of look around and go like, why don't they have jobs?
Do you think it's your great attitude? Do you think it's because you're a swell person?
Being easy to talk to, like
Like, I don't roll, when I see you across the room, I don't roll my eyes and go, oh, God, there he is. Okay, look busy. But, some other writers, I have to say, I do that.
Yeah, that plays a part.
Because writers are difficult to hang out with.
Well, especially, like, the MTV show I was working on, I was in their office 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then on set. If I was a prick and annoying, no, they wouldn't have given me that opportunity. Yeah. So, yeah, you gotta be nice. You got to be humble. I don't know.
Now, from the internship, and then did you get a paid job after that?
So I did the internship that ended, and then Bill, who got me the job, he felt like he owed me a favor because I worked for the better part for like almost a year, not paid.
Right.
And so he referred me to a freelance gig that he knew about, and so I got my first produced script out of that.
Wow.
And that was also, it was, I think, $3,000 for the script.
Oh, yeah.
And then when it aired, I started getting residual checks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got.
Was it animated?
Yes.
Oh, do we get those?
It was the French animation. It was produced in France, the SACD, French Writers Guild.
Did you say the show? Oh, because all the awesome European stuff. I don't think that happens when our stuff airs here, right?
No.
What about on Netflix?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll let you know.
Anyway, so I got some money from that and another job. That wasn't enough to
Now I want you to say timeline here, brother, because
okay.
Because it sounds like it was just like, you got the internship and then you got your first job and you've been working ever since.
So I worked for 2 years before I got the internship. I was at the internship for a year.
Yeah.
At the end of that,
so that's pretty big. So people coming to LA, you might have to eat dirt for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was 3 years at the end of the internship. I get my first script.
Wow.
I got that freelance script,
which pretty good.
Great. That was. I couldn't turn that into another script.
And freelance script, you had a writer's room, you did all that?
No. It was just email the pitches in.
Okay.
Head
11 minute?
Head writer was in France, and just emailed pitches, wrote it. Anyway, went through that process.
Which is your first time actually doing a script, so you're learning about it as you do it.
And the only reason I got that script was because Bill, my friend, who owed me one, guaranteed me to the head writer. Like, they wouldn't have taken me as just some guy, but Bill basically said, listen, give this kid a script. Yeah. If it's bad, I'll rewrite it.
Wow.
Basically.
Yeah, you need an advocate. You really need an advocate in this business, don't you?
Yeah.
Somebody who's really like, this person I'm going to vouch for.
Yeah. So anyway, then I had to get a real job again.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Was that awful?
It's not fun.
What is that moment? Like, what happened? So wait, okay. So what? The $3,000 wasn't floating you for a while, or what?
Not really. So then I go and I get a job at a visual effects company.
Oh man, did you tell people? Like,
sure, yeah.
Like, where does this go in the I'm getting famous narrative when you have to go back and get a real job?
One freelance script is very far from I'm getting famous, but I don't know.
That's how I took it. I got my first freelance script and I quit my job at the games company.
This was only 3 years into the 10 years.
Oh, right.
So then I get a job.
Were you really thinking that it was good? So you never had any idea it would take a decade for this career to bloom?
No. Oh God. No. I would have been probably too afraid to move out if I knew it would take a decade.
Do you think if you were like 30 and you started that you would just be worried about dying soon or something? Like that like life legit was too short?
That old.
I don't know. But like, do you think that you were like, oh man, I can't live like this, I'm 30.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think I could move to a new city and start all over at 30 like I could at 22. Okay. I just don't. Yeah. Like when I looked at pictures of us moving cross country, like there's a photo of me and my wife, then girlfriend, sitting like by the side of the highway, like eating sandwiches at one of those picnic tables. Yeah. And I was just like, we couldn't even afford to get McDonald's.
It's such a cute thing that you did.
And we were just like, what were we doing?
Right.
Where did we get the idea that this was like a good decision?
Right.
So anyway,
but because it's that time in your life too, where you're like, do I stay where I was born? Do I stay where I went to school? Yeah. Do I do something totally nuts? Or do I worry about it? So you got a real job again.
So then I'm working at a visual effects company.
And are you like crying the whole time, like applying to stuff?
I mean, I needed money. I don't know.
Right.
And I was like back to being a PA.
Okay.
And, so I was back to making...
So I've never done that PA thing.
I was taking out garbage, stocking the refrigerator.
So, like, that's where most suicidal, like, conversations come up with people, is when they were a PA. Is it that bad? Is it?
No.
It's not like, at least I'm around the industry, folks.
Well, I mean, that's visual effects. I had no interest in it. But, I don't know. I felt productive, I felt like as long as I was doing a good job cleaning the bathrooms.
Right.
But, I had purpose.
Wait till they see this sparkle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
They'll really upgrade me to writer in no time. All the soaps were full today. Did you see that? And weren't you thinking to yourself, man, a month ago I was a real writer? No?
A month ago I was desperate for money, which was why I was working there. But anyway, so then they promoted me. I was like data manager.
Oh, that's a promotion?
Yeah. So then I became...
I'd rather be doing toilet paper.
Yeah. So I was databasing over there. And then I got a second job during that time because I'd been working for a year making $0. And then after that show ended, it was probably another like 4 months of like not doing anything and making $0. So then I got this, and I was obsessed with like, I need to save money. Yeah. So I was working 5 days a week at this visual effects company. Saturday and Sunday, I got a job on the Santa Monica Pier selling T-shirts.
Wow. How'd you get that job?
You know what? They're not hard to get.
I don't know. Okay, so I'm working on a show with dogs in it. I could say that. And my show is not going to start now until October, they said. Okay? So what am I doing in the meantime? And everybody in the writer's room was like, oh, my dog does this. Oh, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, I'll go get a job working with dogs. Yeah. I couldn't even get a job shoveling poo. They legit rejected me. It was a $10 an hour job cleaning up poo in a kennel. You have to work your way up to walking the dogs. I thought you would just like go walk them, but no, you are on like constant poo duty.
You got to pay your dues in this town, Stephie.
And they won't even hire me for that. So you're getting fancy jobs out in Santa Monica Pier, selling T-shirts to happy tourists. And
the thing was, during the off time after the show, my wife and I took a road trip along Route 66.
Oh, cool.
Because I was unemployed. Now it's time for vacation because fuck money. Who needs money? So we just go out, we drive the entirety of Route 66, which ends at the Santa Monica Pier. So I became friends with the owner of the Route 66 store on the Santa Monica Pier. Okay. And he was saying that he would really like to have an employee who's driven all of Route 66.
Oh, wow.
And so that's why I did it on the weekends.
See? Even to get a job selling T-shirts, you got to have all this experience.
So then tourists were coming in. That was what I liked about the job, was that tourists would come in either just starting or just ending their Route 66 road trips.
Right.
If they were just starting, I kept my photo album and guidebook with me. So I'd start leafing through photos, going, you got to stop here, you got to stop here.
People tip you?
No, I didn't ask for tips. No, but I would always give people, I got business cards printed and told them to call me when they were on the road, they were lost.
That's crazy.
And they would send me pictures.
Would you tell them that you're a famous writer at that time?
No.
Were you like...
Well, I wasn't. I was...
Oh, you going to France? Well, you can see some of my work on television there. There's like nothing like that.
You know who I did meet at that shop? John Lasseter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, John Lasseter.
Was he wearing a really ugly shirt?
Yes.
He needs a new shirt.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
But because cars and the Route 66 thing.
Oh, yeah.
He was in town and he was
crazy.
there.
Crazy, because the animators too. They also went on a big road trip.
Yeah. So I met a few animation people there.
That's cool. So, maybe that's the place we all gotta be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then how much time between the like?
So I was working at that period. The visual effects was about another year and a half.
Wow. Honestly, I don't know where you have the energy or the drive.
Yeah, working 7 days a week.
If you were to tell me that I would have these bumps now ahead, I'm throwing in the towel.
And then I got laid off, and then I got another real job.
Wow.
I was working in reality TV. As an assistant.
Yeah, lots of jobs in that.
Yeah. And then when I was at that job for another year and a half.
Wow.
Then finally the Sonic stuff started happening.
So, yeah. Now, did you ever have moments where you just were like, I'm going to go back?
No.
Never?
No.
You never were like, what's the point of all this? I'm going to go, be a salesman in New York.
Oh, God. Oh, that's terrible. I feel like I feel like I could have parked myself, even if I didn't get in all the way, I could have parked myself on the outskirts of the industry somewhere. Like, so that was, I was in sales,
okay.
but it was at a TV, production company. I was in sales. So like, it was kind of in the industry, so I feel like I could have moved around or done something on the side.
As a writer, you don't get to choose, right? Nobody, like, what show you get to write on, right? Not at this point.
Yeah,
maybe
whatever
now,
your friend can hook you up with.
Now you probably can, but yeah, Sonic, I mean, could you have dreamed of anything cooler?
So it was Bill, who the same guy on Warren the Ape and stuff. You
owe Bill a fruit basket, let me tell you.
Yeah,
like
I like to think we helped each other. No, I've given Bill plenty of gifts and accolades.
Okay.
So when he told me that he was Sonic the Hedgehog, and I gasped.
Oh my goodness.
And then I started asking him questions, just like so like, who's in it? Is it like Sonic or Sonic and Knuckles? Is Amy in it? Is Big the Cat in it?
Are
what
they
era?
Make all the mistakes of Sonic's past?
Is it classic Sonic or is it modern Sonic?
Right.
And,
you got a call.
Yeah.
Is it Bill?
No, it's my writing partner.
Oh.
That's fine.
Is that important?
That's fine.
Okay.
So anyway, then I was kind of going through all that stuff, and then I was like, I got a bunch of Sonic games. Do you want to borrow my Dreamcast? Do you want to play them? And so I think then he was like, okay, maybe this guy would be useful to have.
Oh, because he wasn't a big Sonic fan?
I mean, he was aware.
Is he old? Like, how old's this guy?
Bill?
With all the power.
He's like my parents' age.
Okay, yeah. So he doesn't really get it.
I mean, he's knows gaming history, and
he hasn't had his thumbs bleed on a fucking.
Yeah, he's more ColecoVision.
Right. So now that's with Cartoon Network now, and was that completely with an American Sonic Sega studio, or
it was Sega of America produced?
It was the American, okay.
Yeah,
because Japan doesn't really have anything to do with it anymore. Is that right?
No, they're involved.
Okay,
but Sega of America was producing this show.
So then he told you about the show, and your eyes lit up, and then he, on his own volition, like how often are you going around saying to people, hey, I really like to write on that show? Do you need to say those words, or is it just implied? You didn't say it.
I didn't say it.
Because you didn't think so.
Yeah.
Because you were just a T-shirt salesman.
Yeah, well.
What are they going to want with you?
He knew what my goals were.
Okay.
And I was hanging around, and so what happened was he had a few scripts, and one needed a rewrite. I was working with my writing partner, Greg, and he said, you guys want to give this a rewrite? I don't have time to rewrite this script.
Right.
And so that was our test.
Okay.
And we did a rewrite, and it came in good.
Okay, well, let me just ask you quickly about the writing partner thing.
Sure.
So, are you cheaper, or are you more expensive to hire writing partners?
Well, here's the thing. So, if you're a solo writer, you get a fee as a freelancer per episode. Let's say for argument's sake, $4,000 per episode. If you're a team, you get $4,000 per episode.
My God!
So you are making personally half the money.
Wow!
A team costs the exact same
so
amount of money.
So I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm not going to do
Here's the trade-off.
Yeah.
When you're a team, you're more attractive to hire because it's two writers for the price of one.
Oh.
It's also easier to write because you have two voices, and the drafts that you write are better because they're being argued and punched up as you're going. Maybe your first instinct to write something, the other person will go, we can do better. And then you kind of argue it and everything. It might take a little longer to write or something, but the drafts are usually stronger. So you get paid half as much money, but it's easier and the work is better. So
yeah, not so lonely.
Yeah. So that's the trade-off.
Wow. I didn't know you get paid the
exact same.
Wow. Yeah, you take half.
That's what there are some shows that only hire teams because they like two writers for the price of one.
Right. You worked your way. Okay, so you guys did this thing where you fixed up a script and then it was really good.
Yeah. So the way that went. So we did the rewrite. It was good.
Yeah.
And then that opened the door, and then it was like, okay, now if you have ideas for new episodes, you can pitch. We got the invitation to pitch.
Okay, and that's all remotely, too. You're just sitting at home.
Yeah. So we send in a bunch of pitches.
Okay.
2 of them go through.
2. Wow.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
And so then it's rolling.
Okay.
And then kind of some more.
Now, and they also gave you the Bible and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. And then, so we're writing episodes, we're pitching and they're going well. And then it sort of gets rolling. Then more scripts maybe need rewrites and everything.
Oh, wow.
And so then they started talking about maybe involving us more. And so then that...
Now, are you working on anything else right at
I was
that
working
moment?
at that reality TV company.
Okay.
I was
so you were like nighttime doing this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then these things start rolling through. And so then in that first season, they decide, hey, why don't we just hire Alan and Greg as creative consultants?
Wow.
And so then we became involved in breaking every story,
wow.
With every writer and doing, doing rewrites and everything. And we just became, we weren't staff writers on that first season, but we were creative consultants.
And you were going into Cartoon Network?
No, it wasn't in Cartoon Network. It was Sega produced it.
So where's that office?
I wasn't working at an office. I was working at a Bill's house.
Oh.
We were breaking the scripts at Bill's house.
Wow.
And then Greg and I would go home and, write our drafts in our apartments, email them.
Okay.
Maybe drive to Bill's house for a punch-up.
Crazy. And how did you meet Bill?
I met Bill through networking. It was a website for NYU alumni to
Wow,
network.
that's crazy.
Yeah. So
actually, that's a really good tip for our listeners because my alumni association really got me some good work down here.
Yeah, that's contact your alumni association. I asked for a list of what they called willing contacts. I told them my city, and they gave me a list of alumni who were okay with some kid calling.
Yeah, that's great.
And they were all over. There were some writers. They were Steadicam operators and sound guys. I called all of them. I got coffee with everybody.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And so that also helped.
Wow. And that's how you met Bill.
Yeah, I met Bill through NYU networking
Amazing.
Events and stuff.
So now at this time, when stuff's rolling with Sonic, was that the happiest time of your life, you think? Did you start to feel I'm making it here. All the tears and T-shirt sales, this has been worth it.
I didn't feel like I was making it yet. No.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, wow. What do you need? Swimming pool? What is it?
We were working on this little secret show. The show wasn't announced. It didn't feel real.
That's always a pain. Yeah, when you can't talk about it.
So
yeah, because you can't post on Facebook. Hey, guess what?
None of my friends knew what I was working on. Because I took the non-disclosure agreement very seriously.
Yes, right.
I didn't tell my parents I was working on
Oh,
this show.
wow. That's
I didn't want to screw this up, Stephie.
Really? How are you going to... you got to tell the parents so they know that it's worth it.
No, I didn't tell anybody.
Did your parents ever say, Alan, maybe you should give it up and you can have these stupid jobs at home?
No. They 100%. They 100% believe. No, my parents were supportive 100%.
Okay.
And I took great pride. They always said, if you need money, just ask us.
Oh, that's good.
I never took money from my parents.
Oh, wow. That should be on your gravestone.
So that was a point of great pride. And that my parents, never had to loan me money. They were
nice.
Pretty happy with it. They were like, I don't understand what you're doing, but I guess it's working, so good job.
Okay. And so you still didn't have an agent at this point?
No. Oh, you know what? Yes, I did. I'm sorry. When I got the Sonic job, we had to submit through an agent.
Right.
And so
unsolicited? Is that
it? So, my friend was making the show and said, you're going to get a script, but you got to submit through an agent. So I just called his agency and, talked to an agent and said, hey, would you like 10% of guaranteed money?
Right.
And he said, sure, very much so. So, I had an agent.
Yeah.
Who...
It's a weird relationship, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very close, but
I always just understood it.
So.
It's easy to resent the 10% going to somebody because that I just called, that didn't get me the job. But I just always accepted it as a price of doing business.
I always imagine that they're at a lunch somewhere talking about me. And I feel like that thought's worth 10%. Someone is glowingly raving about me to somebody else, even if it, I don't get a phone call about it. But
yeah, you believe that. Go ahead.
I choose to live like that with the 10%. Yeah.
So that's how I got in on Sonic, and then the second season came around, and they bumped us up to story.
That's amazing.
Editor. And that was when I really felt like I made it.
Yeah.
Because that was staff.
Oh yeah, staff's the dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And but then it's a lot of pressure. So at what point did your name get out to the public that you were writing on this?
Well, so the episodes started airing.
Okay.
And Greg and my names were on them. And we became very prominent on Twitter.
Right.
As being part of the Sonic writing team.
Yeah.
And so once they started airing, then we started interacting with fans.
Yeah.
And so that's...
And those are gamers, which can be difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always viewed it as like Greg and I were low enough on the pecking order that the people that are difficult or want to express anger go to somebody higher than us.
Oh,
so only people that like the show find me.
Okay.
Mostly.
And dress up as your characters for Halloween.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So all that fandom. I mean, did you hit a lot of like backlash though? Did you get any trolls?
Sure.
Yeah. Like real hardcore geeks in other countries.
Listen, Twitter's got this amazing feature where you can just block somebody.
Right. But was that stressful? I mean, like I've been trolled before. It's a new feeling. It's a new sensation of it's nothing but it's out there,
Yeah.
Do you constantly have to check it and make sure no one's, shit talking something?
I don't know. I ignore it. I know a lot of people who can't ignore it. I just ignore it. I ignore most of the negative stuff.
And people ask you questions. You have little
That's
contests.
what gives me stress, though, is answering questions. Because I never want...
okay.
Like, I'm happy to give answers, but I never want it to end up as a news article. You know?
Oh, yeah. Because you're very public.
Yeah.
And did, like, Cartoon Network coach you on any of that?
No.
Okay. So you always have to be, like, not their opinion. It's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a writer.
Yeah. And so, I never want to confirm anything that hasn't been announced or give a detail that maybe Sega or my employer would rather I didn't give.
Right.
And that was tough. That was a learning experience.
Okay.
For me.
Yeah. Because were you a big tweeter before?
No, I created a Twitter account
just for this.
For the show.
Okay. Amazing. And so then that took on another job for you, though. You're pretty active.
Yeah.
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 And you go and you sign autographs at the panels and you
Yeah.
do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. So,
Thanks.
if like you don't need to do anything else after that, right? But you did do something else, which is a segue.
Yeah.
Is Grandma versus the Internet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a lovely little project that you did. So there's been 2 episodes. The first one came out in 2016.
Yep.
And now the latest episode just came out, which you can find on Guff Media. Yes.
Yes.
Or just on YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's mostly... Their Facebook's a prominent way they're sharing it. Facebook.com/Guff. Or Guff, GUFF.com.
Right. So Grandma versus the Internet is an animated short.
Yes.
Yes. Or it's a web series.
Yeah, I guess it's got 2 episodes. It's a web series.
It's a series now. There's 2. So really briefly, why don't you talk about how that kind of came together and why you decided to do that?
Sure. I was working at the website Guff between seasons on Sonic.
Okay.
That was...
and how long is there between seasons?
I mean, that one had about a year.
Wow.
Yeah, just kind of...
Okay.
That's how it ended up. And so I was working at that website writing, and they wanted to get into original content, and they said, "Hey, Alan knows how to make cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
Alan's the only one in the building who knows how to write cartoons."
Wow!
So I paired up with another writer working there named Chris, and they just put us in a conference room for a week. And they said, come up with a show and write a bunch of episodes.
Oh, wow. Oh, so it was really under their watchful eye.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
that's cool. That's nice they gave you creative control and credit.
Yeah. So I remember, we were just kind of tossing around ideas. And, of course, we're at a website that's dealing with clickbait stuff and sharing memes and everything.
And what was your job for them at the time? Sorry.
I was writing articles for them.
Oh, copyright. Yeah. Or like...
I was writing, like, listicles. And I tried not to write clickbait, but I wrote some clickbait too.
Well, you need to.
You know?
I mean, you got mouths to feed.
Yeah. But I was writing articles and listicles, pitching articles, and then.
Okay, and then they pulled you in the room and said, "Make a web series."
Yes.
Animated.
Yeah. So we.
And this guy's a stand-up comedian. It's
Chris Garcia.
Chris Garcia. Yeah, and he's kind of well known actually. He's on He was on What the Fuck. He was on what else did he do? What does he do
Yeah,
on
he's
This
on
American Life?
Yeah.
And he makes his rounds.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to talk to Chris because when I posted on Facebook, episode 2, I tagged him and he untagged himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know.
Well, we didn't say his last name, did we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, we did. Oh. Shows you how much I pay attention right now. But okay, well, maybe it's another one.
It's such a common name.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we and then we settled on an episode that we liked or a script that we liked that we thought would perform well, and then it became this whole thing. And then we had to find an animator.
What, you had to do that?
Yeah.
What's this Guff company doing?
Well, they went to me and basically said, "This is the budget. You make us a cartoon."
Oh, okay, and you had to go and pay them, and
cartoon.
yeah.
And they didn't know
But
how.
Did you really?
I knew how to write a script.
Okay.
And I knew how to voice direct because I'd been to Sonic.
Okay.
Voice session. So I was, when it came to the recording, I was just doing an impression of the voice director on Sonic. And
okay.
So I knew how to do that. I knew the steps.
Yeah.
I knew editing the audio, to make a radio play and then bringing in an animator at that point. I knew more than anyone else in the building. Really.
Okay. Well, there you go.
And then, with the budget, I reached out to people.
What was the budget on that for three minutes?
So the animation budget on the first episode was, I think, $7,500.
Wow. For 3 minutes animated.
Yeah, I think that was 4 minutes.
Okay.
Color,
yes. Sound involved.
And I believe the animator regretted giving us a price that low.
Okay.
I honestly don't know what the budget was in the second episode.
And they weren't in Korea or anything like that?
No, he's Matt Keel. He's an animator out here who was recommended.
He did it all on his own?
Yeah, he would come into the office and show clips, or he would.
How long would 4 minutes? How long did that take him to animate on his own?
God, well, that was a long time because when we played it for him, he was like, "Yeah, I think 6 weeks is a good timeline." We went, "Great."
Wow.
4 months later, he finished.
Anyone who's made animation knows that's not possible.
but he believed it. Yeah. So anyway, it took him 4 months.
But just for kids at home, I mean, anything you see animated, it's not like you rhyme that off in a weekend. Yeah. Right? Even if it's Flash.
And contributing to that taking so long was also I was giving notes and making him go back and redo stuff. Right. Because
Oh, you didn't do a storyboard?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
I mean, well, we did a little storyboard, but it was very rough.
Right.
And he kind of wanted to just get rolling. But, it might have probably wouldn't have taken him 6 weeks, but maybe it would have taken him 10 weeks if it was just his project.
Right.
But then I had to go and be a dick and keep telling him to change stuff, and it took a long time. Yeah. But anyway, then they posted that online, and it got millions of views.
Yeah, it's got a lot of hits.
Yeah, I think it's at 2.5 million.
Your name's really getting out there now. Yeah. It's all like your cows are coming home full of milk kind of thing, Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so then that got
So then they must have been excited.
Yeah. They were. And then they said, let's make more.
Let's make more, yeah.
And we made 2 more.
Oh, you did? Okay.
One just aired.
Right.
And the other one's coming probably in a month or so.
Okay. And then a month or so.
Yeah.
It'll be out.
And we'll see. They always talk about, let's keep making more.
Right.
I don't know.
And so they kind of own it, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
so you can't go and shop that around.
No. I made it while an employee of theirs.
Oh, right.
They own... Just like every piece of clickbait I made is property of Guff.
Yeah, right. You wouldn't get any money on that. Well, that's cool. So we'll look out for the next episode of that. That's Grandma versus the Internet. Just Google that. So Sonic now, what's the latest? So you guys are...
What's the latest on Sonic?
Yeah. What are you allowed to say?
Well, so season 2 is airing. I think there's only 10 episodes left to go in season 2.
And there's a season 3, or is that cricket?
I can
cricketing?
Cricket.
Act 3. Current projects and the future writings of Alan Denton.
Sonic right now.
How long has it been since you last wrote a Sonic episode?
September 2016.
Okay.
That was when my contract as a writer ended.
Okay.
But the production on season 2 has been rolling.
Right.
Since there's still episodes that they are working on in season 2.
Right.
So if they like I said before, there was a year between seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
okay. But you're still working. You got another job.
Yeah.
You are working for Silvergate Media, right?
Yeah, I've been working on this. There's a show on Nick Jr. called SunnyDay.
Right. Just came out last week.
Yeah.
Saw the first episode.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Well, I really liked it. The thing is, I knew about that show because Silvergate actually hired me to do some work for them last year. And I'm very grateful for that. It was like kind of my first real job in TV. They flew me down to New York. You flew down. They really have a nice thing, don't they? They put you up in a nice hotel. They really know how to treat you. You know what? I wish I didn't have that out of the gate because I thought it would be like that always.
No, that's how they treated writers in the 90s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Like breakfast, buffet. Did you get that when you came in? The Danishes, the coffees, what would you like to eat for lunch? Great Greek for lunch. Great lunch we had there. Just spoiled. No, it's never been that good. So Silvergate's always been lovely to work with.
Yeah. So that's a show that's
you're working for them
on Nick Jr. I've written a couple episodes of their first season.
Yeah.
So
does every episode have a song? Can you say that? It does. Yeah. Okay. I like the music.
Yeah, I think the music's the best part of the show.
Yeah.
And very briefly, the show is about 3 little girls who own a salon, and they solve all of their life problems using their hair care knowledge.
Right.
So I don't know how I was the guy to call.
You know what? I was thinking you'd be perfect for that. After Sonic, let's get that guy in Sonic Boom.
So it was, I mean, the boring answer is that I had a friend that got approached for that show, and he said, I'm busy, but you should call Alan.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's really nice.
And they called me,
wow.
and I showed up.
See?
You know, it's like so many people ask questions about breaking in, and it's like you really have to just be social and have a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
And make friends with professional people
right.
and stuff, but also not be cynical about it, because people know if you're just being friends to network. You have to.
Oh yeah, you can sniff those out, can't you? You
have to actually be their friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just have to become part of the community, and then everybody starts recommending people around
right.
and stuff. But yeah, so that's been. It was funny because when I wrote my first script, they were like, "This is great. You know, what we really like is that you don't approach this like a normal preschool writer."
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, well, that's because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing."
Right.
So
yeah, that helps. Yeah, that
I was
really
trying
helps.
to approach this like a normal preschool writer, but
right.
I guess I didn't do it right.
Which is a good thing.
But okay, sure.
Right.
So again, it's just kind of dumb luck that they liked me. They liked my stuff.
Great.
And so then I got some more scripts.
That's cool. And then, how often do you get to go to New York then?
I've just gone once.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, and then you like working from home?
Yeah. It doesn't feel like you have a real job. I mean, you're just at home working on scripts or something.
Right.
I don't know. You know the feeling, right?
Yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah. I mean, it feels like work when people, have deadlines and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels like work.
Yeah, the biggest part when you have a deadline is going on Facebook and announcing to everyone that you have a deadline.
Yeah, some support
Hello,
system.
fellow professionals.
Right.
Don't try talking to me. I have a deadline. I wasn't going to talk to you anyway.
Well, I put a Facebook block up now, so I just get like an inspirational quote, but they're like kind of depressing. So it's like, your life is ending 1 minute at a time. Like was one. And I
is
think
that all it said?
Yeah, yeah. So it like completely blocks your Facebook feed. It's a Chrome extension. So if you're ever
why'd you do that?
Well, because I scroll endlessly. I can really scroll for hours, and it's not productive at all. It's a weird habit. We've been on Facebook now 10 years. And I've been on Facebook probably every day of 10 years, really. Even if I was in like some jungle in Laos, I would still be checking my Facebook.
Yikes.
And I think it's really done something in, so I'm trying to like phase it out. And so the feed, but the thing is I'm feed hungry all the time. So I'm going on LinkedIn, and that's even more depressing. You don't want to do the feed on LinkedIn.
Well, LinkedIn is just people bragging about their jobs.
Yeah, or like about, you gotta sleep more and like stuff, startups. I don't know. I follow all the startups because I'm in the game community. But anyways, Okay, so just any last advice if people, want your job and, you're living do you feel like you're living the dream now, Alan? All that
I do.
struggle?
Yeah. I feel like I'm...
Are you tasting it and enjoying it, though? Like, do you celebrate it as much as you should?
Here's the thing. I remember, I wanted to... When I felt like I made it, I always had the idea that I was going to, go around to everybody that, gave me a break, every former boss, and, tell them in person that I made it. But then once you get a job, you're like, I'm not going to be like this dick going around bragging, So I don't really... I don't know. It's a quiet satisfaction. You're like, what are you up to? I'm just writing on this show.
Right.
I don't know, it's pretty good.
Right.
I don't know. It feels weird, actually, trying to enjoy success because everybody's, looking for work and stuff.
And you can't do it in the face of everyone else who's miserable, right?
And if people go, what are you up to? And you go, actually, I'm a staff writer on this Sonic the Hedgehog show. Immediately they go, oh, can I have a job?
Right.
Oh, no. No,
right.
You can't.
Actually, do you want to just say, too, openly, that it's very difficult for us to get other people jobs? Because I have never been told in a writer's room, oh, and if you know any other writers, let us know. Those words have never been said to me. I think you have to be like a pretty big fish to get people writers' jobs. Yeah,
that's the thing. People all the time were always asking me to get them work. And it's like...
And it puts your name on the line a little too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because then they're like, oh, what is he, some kind of HR manager?
Well, it takes a certain level of gall to recommend somebody. That's,
right.
That's bothering somebody because they, there's a finite amount of jobs and everyone above you is trying to already give them to their friends.
Right. Yeah.
And so, I don't know. So that's also why I don't really talk about it too much. I don't want people asking me for work and then that's also why people get ghosted all the time, where they ask for work and then they get no response and they're like, what's this person's problem? It's like they're just trying to avoid the awkward situation of telling you that they couldn't do it or they were not willing to.
Yeah, and please don't ask. But that's kids these days, right? The millennials, they all think they could just walk into it and they don't have to work hard.
Yeah, then with their fidget spinners.
Right, and their bad music. They just think, it's entitlement, their little participation thing. So then from the first day that you landed in Los Angeles to the day that you felt like you had made it, how many years was that? And was there a definitive day where you're like, it's gravy now?
When I signed my contract for season 2 of Sonic, I had to before doing that, I had to incorporate myself.
Oh, there's all this bureaucratic
and I was trying to buy a house, and I was waiting on that contract to come in.
That's the American dream, right? A house.
So
that's when you made it.
So that contract coming in, so I had incorporated myself, contract came in, and then I gave it to the builder and to approve my loan, saying, there's my contract. This is proof that I'm guaranteed this much money this year. So yes, that was when I felt like I made it.
Okay. That is big. And when was that?
So that was 2015.
Okay.
So that was probably
8 years.
Like 8 years in. It took a while. Yeah.
So, okay, well, thank you so much for being the first guest on my podcast.
I hope some of it's usable.
Yeah, it's all in the editing, right?
Yeah,
it's all in the editing. And thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know you have a very important meeting today to go to. So this has been the cartoon podcast that we don't have a name for. And
This Animated Life.
I like that name, and feel free to send more. But This Animated Life, I'm Stephie Theodora. Thank you so much for listening, and we will tune in soon. Oh, maybe I'll come up with some stupid saying. Tune in soon.
Oh, I get it.
Thank you so much for listening to my first ever podcast. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please send me an email at StephieTheodora.com and let me know your thoughts. Let me know if there's a guest that you would like to hear or what we could talk about in the next episode. Thanks so much, and tune in next time to This Animated Life.